Number 11, write the symbol for each of the following ions. And then I see that I have A through D, so I'm just going to write down A, B, C, and D. All right, so first things first, we got to know what an ion is, right? An ion is just a charged atom. So an atom will have a charge and it will be called an an ion. So for example, if I have an N, a nitrogen with a -3 charge, that would be classified as an ion because it has a charge. Any element or any compound that has a charge would be called an ion. So if you see a charge in the upper right-hand corner, and that's where all the charges are going to be, no exceptions. It's always going to be in the upper right-hand corner of when you say your element or compound. So if you do see a charge, it's automatically an ion. So if I just scan through these, I see ion, 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 ion. So I should have a charge for all of them in the upper right-hand corner, whether they're a positive or a negative. All right, so a positive example would be sodium, Na, with the +1. So still it's in the upper right-hand corner, but it's just a positive. Okay, so before we start these, you should know how to write symbols, right? We need to know how to write these symbols. There is a specific way to write symbols for your ions. So I'm just going to put any generic element here. Let's just say I'm going to have my box, right? And the box is represented by on the periodic table, right? So this is a box for iron, this is calcium, etc., etc. So you will have your element symbol, whether it's Fe for iron, Ca for calcium, Be for beryllium, it doesn't matter. Your symbol will go in there. Now, there's basically 3 things that you have to worry about. The upper left-hand corner, the upper right-hand corner, and the bottom left. All right? We already covered what the upper right-hand corner is. That's where your charge goes every single time. So I'm just going to say charge. In the upper left-hand corner, that is where your Z number goes. Now you say, well, wait a minute, what is a Z number? The Z is your atomic mass. All right, so Z is the atomic mass. It's always the bigger number. So for example, if this was let's just say if this was a carbon, the Z number, which would be going up in the top right corner, would be the mass of a carbon. Now, get your periodic tables out. I have one down here, right? Periodic table of elements, but it would be easier if you guys could see a periodic table in front of you. So get those out. Now, if you look at carbon, carbon's right here. Generally, on this periodic table, it says 12.01. So that would be the number that goes up here. All right? But for all of these examples, they're only talking about a single ion. All the masses, the atomic masses found on the periodic table, are average numbers. So your masses, you will always follow your examples, not the number on the periodic table. All right? And last but not least, the bottom right is the A number. So Z up on the top and the bottom, A is your atomic number. All right? And the atomic number, we should know, is always the number of protons. And that never changes for an atom, specific atom. So the atomic number is always equal to the number of protons. So number of protons, atomic number, that will always go on the bottom right-hand corner. Bottom left-hand corner. So for example, for carbon, it's always going to be the smaller number of the two. It will be 6. All right? And your atomic number, the number of protons, will always be a whole number. So, and it's always going to be the smaller out of the two. So Z up on top, A on the bottom. Z is the higher number, A is the smaller number. Let's get into A. So for A, they say the ion with the +1 charge, or 1+, an atomic number of 55, and a mass number of 133. Okay, now over here, I said atomic number, but then they say mass number. Just know that mass number is the same thing as atomic mass. So here, I'm just going to erase this just for clarity. I said atomic mass for Z, but Z is also known as the mass number. I guess they're just kind of going with atomic number or mass number just to kind of keep it the same. So it's the same exact idea here. Okay. Now, the first thing we have to find out is what element is this? You can always find the element out by its atomic number, because the atomic number for an element will never change. So you got to go on the periodic table and look at number 55, and that's your whole number. So I'm just going to erase this, and I'm going to scan the periodic table, and you should scan too, for number 55. And you should come down to, let's see, right here. You see? This one has a 55. And that's the whole number. So this A would be cesium. So I'm going to just say CS. Now, you might be asking to yourself, whoa. This number is on the top and the bigger number is on the bottom, right? The A is on the top and the Z is on the bottom for the periodic table that was given in the textbook. Sometimes that can happen. But when you're writing notation, it is standard that you put the Z up on top and the A on the bottom. But standard periodic tables will flip it on you. But just know that the whole number is always the atomic number. So I'm going to put the 55 on the bottom because that's standard notation. That's where the A should go. And now that checks this off. They tell me that the mass number was 133. So that goes on the top. And they tell me that it has a +1 charge, so I'm just going to write +1. Or you could write 1+, it doesn't matter. You could also write just a plus. If you just see a plus, that specifies that there is a 1 there. But for right now, we're just learning, we're getting our feet wet, so this would be the final answer for A. Moving on. B. The ion with 54 electrons, 53 protons, and 74 neutrons. Okay, where do we start? Well, we always start with what the element actually is. And the element always comes from the atomic number. But we know that the atomic number equals the number of protons. So, by them telling us that it's 53 protons, we know that this is the atomic number. So I'm going to scan my atomic number for 53. And if you scan it, 53 should be right here, right? The 53 is right here, the whole number 53. So this is iodine. So I'm going to put an I over here. Okay, so that gets rid of this, right? And the 53 goes down here. Now I just need the two other things. I need the mass number. Now we should know that the mass number is number of protons, so I'm just going to put number of P, plus the number of neutrons for a given atom. So here, they told us that we had 53 protons, and we have 74 neutrons. So what would be the mass number for this? What would be the Z value? It would be the 53 protons plus the 74 neutrons. So whatever you get, let's see. 53 plus 74 is 127. So the mass number in this case would be 127, and that goes up top here. We got 2 out of the 3 correct. So check that off. The mass number's done. Now we just got to find out what the charge is. Okay. Now they didn't tell us a specific charge, but the charge always comes from the difference between the protons and the electrons, right? I'm just going to make that nice. Now, why is that? Because protons are positive and electrons are negative. So if you have an equal amount of protons plus an equal amount of electrons, you would get a 0 charge because everything balances out. But if you have more positives and less negatives, your charge would be positive. And then on the vice versa, if you have more negatives than positives, your charge would be negative. So it's always just what the protons and electrons are doing. Now in this case, I'm going to write it over here. We had 54 electrons, which represents a negative number. And we had 53 protons, which is a positive number, right? This is the number of electrons and this is the number of protons. Who do we have more of? Oh, we have more electrons, right? We have 54 versus 53. How many more electrons do we have? We have one more electron. And what's the charge of an electron? It's negative. So overall, this would be a negative 1. And that's the charge that goes in the upper right-hand corner. And you can just say a negative. Negative assumes that we have negative 1, but let's just put a 1 there for now. Box this one off. That's the answer to B. So A and B are done. Next, now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. So here, they're telling us we got an ion with an atomic number of 15, a mass number of 31, and a negative 3 charge. So I first got to find out what my element is. The element comes from the atomic number, and that's 15. So I'm going to scan my periodic table for 15, and that is P, phosphorus. So that's the number that goes here. And the 15, well, that's the letter, right? The symbol is P, and the 15 goes down here. They tell us that they have a mass number of 31, so that's the number that goes up here. And they tell us that this phosphorus has a negative 3 charge, so I'm just going to put negative 3. Now you can't just put a negative here because there's more than 1, so you have to put a 3. If you have any other number besides a 1, negative or positive 1, you got to write that number. So this would be the answer for C. Last but not least, the ion with 24 electrons, 30 neutrons, and a +3 charge. Okay. All right. So let's see. Now here, this one's tricky because they didn't tell us what the protons were, and they didn't tell us the atomic number. But they did tell us a +3 charge. That's the overall charge. Now here, I'm going to give you a formula. I'll put it up here. Whoop. Overall charge is just like we said before, right? It's the number of electrons, and we have to give a negative for that because electrons are negative, plus the number of protons. So whether you want to say negative electrons plus protons, or if you want to say protons minus electrons, that would be even easier because then you don't have to deal with the negatives, but it would be exactly the same. So protons minus electrons will always give you the total charge. Now here they told us that a total charge was a +3. So +3 equals the number of protons, which we don't know, x, minus how many electrons were there? Oh, 24. So now I can do simple algebra to solve for how many protons there were. So all you got to do is just plus 24 on both sides, right? So 24 plus 3 is 27. So x would equal 27 protons, P. And now we know the atomic number because the atomic number always equals the number of protons. So now we just got to scan for 27. And that's right here, cobalt. So cobalt here. And now we know the atomic number is 27. So that goes down here. Let's find the mass number. They didn't tell us that, but we know from before that mass number equals number of protons plus number of neutrons. So the mass number, I'm just going to put it over here. Mass number equals protons, which we just found out was 27, plus number of neutrons was 30. So 27 plus 30, you get 57. And that's what goes in the top left. And did they tell us the charge? Yes, they did. They told us that we had a -3 charge. They told us that we had a +3. So it would be a +3. And that's your final one. So a lot of stuff was going on here. We introduced new formulas, how to, find mass number, how to find atomic number. So there was a lot here, guys, but we have tons more practice coming your way. Let me just check this off just for completion's sake. But yeah, So if this helped, please give us a thumbs up. Comment us down in the comments if you thought this was helpful. We'd love to hear from you guys. And if you want more problems, hit that subscribe button. You'll be the first ones to know when our next set of problems, come in your feed. And that would help you guys out a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for staying towards the end. I will see you guys all in number 12. See you then.